Picture this. Every single species on this planet has spent hundreds of millions of years fine-tuning itself to Earth's exact conditions. Sharks developed senses that detect a single drop of blood from miles away. Cacti evolved to store water in deserts where rain might not fall for years. Penguins perfected insulation and swimming efficiency in freezing Antarctic waters. And then there's us. We get sick from our own air when it's too clean. Our minds break under routine modern pressures. We crave sugar and salt that were once rare luxuries, now killing us in abundance. And we're the only species that looks at its own inventions, cities, screens, endless noise, and feels a deep, quiet wrongness. What if the reason we struggle so badly in the world we built is because our bodies and brains were never meant for this planet in the first place? Let's start with something as basic as light. Step into a brightly lit office or stare at a screen for hours. Many of us get headaches, eye strain, fatigue that feels bone deep. Natural sunlight? We burn easily, develop skin cancers at rates no other mammal comes close to matching without protection. But flip it, our modern indoor life, with its artificial blue light blasting late into the night, disrupts our sleep cycles so badly that millions suffer from chronic insomnia or seasonal affective disorder. Other animals regulate their circadian rhythms perfectly with the natural day-night cycle. We had to invent melatonin supplements, blackout curtains, and blue light filters just to function. Think about that. We engineered our environment so completely that it now fights our own biology. Now look at your immune system. It should be a flawless defender. Instead, in roughly 30 to 40% of people worldwide, it overreacts to harmless things, pollen, dust mites, pet dander, certain foods. Allergies and autoimmune disorders have exploded in modern populations. In hunter-gatherer societies, these issues were rare. Our bodies seem calibrated for constant exposure to dirt, parasites, and diverse microbes, the old friends hypothesis. Remove them through hygiene, antibiotics, and sterile environments, and the immune system turns on itself or goes haywire against benign triggers. No other species wages war on its own surroundings like this. We literally sanitize our world so thoroughly that our defenses malfunction. Then there's mental health. Anxiety disorders, depression, chronic stress, these aren't just modern problems. They're epidemic. Our brains evolved for short, intense bursts of stress, spot a predator, run or fight, then rest. Instead, we face endless low-level threats, work deadlines, financial worries, social media comparisons, traffic, notifications that never stop. The stress response system floods us with cortisol as if we're facing lions every day, but we can't run or fight. The result? Burnout, insomnia, weakened immunity, and rising rates of mental illness that would have been unimaginable to our ancestors. Elephants grieve, dolphins play, but they don't develop widespread clinical depression from their daily lives. We do. And we build entire industries around therapy, medication, and wellness retreats to cope. Our social wiring feels mismatched too. Humans evolved in small, tight-knit bands of 50 to 150 people where everyone knew each other, resources were shared, and status was negotiated face-to-face. Today, we live in cities of millions, connected digitally to thousands, yet many report profound loneliness. We crave belonging but get superficial likes and endless comparison. Social media exploits our ancient need for tribal approval, triggering the same reward circuits as food or sex, yet delivering empty calories for the soul. The result is rising isolation, polarization, and mental health crises even as we're more connected than ever. Other social animals like wolves or primates maintain stable group dynamics without this level of internal conflict or existential emptiness. And then there's our relationship with food and movement. We evolved to crave calorie-dense foods because they were scarce and unpredictable on the savannah. Now, ultra-processed food engineered to hit our bliss points is everywhere, driving obesity, diabetes, and heart disease to pandemic levels. We sit for hours in chairs designed for comfort, not the constant movement our hunter-gatherer bodies expected, walking 10 to 15 kilometers a day, climbing, carrying. The result? Weak cores, poor posture, metabolic slowdown. Our ancestors didn't need gyms, their environment forced functional fitness. We had to invent exercise as a separate activity because daily life no longer demands it. But the strangest mismatch isn't just physical or even emotional. It's how we relate to the planet itself. Every other species fits into Earth's ecosystems in a balanced way. Beavers build dams that create wetlands benefiting many species. Wolves keep deer populations healthy, preventing overgrazing. Even locusts, and their swarms, eventually cycle nutrients back. We, however, extract, consume, and pollute at scales that disrupt entire systems. We clear forests faster than they regenerate, pump plastics into oceans, and alter the climate in ways that threaten our own survival. It's not malice, it's as if our operating system wasn't written for long-term planetary stewardship. We excel at short-term problem-solving but struggle with delayed consequences on a global scale. An invasive species dropped into a new environment might behave exactly this way, thriving aggressively at first, then destabilizing everything because it never learned the local rules. So if our bodies and minds seem poorly tuned for Earth, or at least for the version we've rapidly created, where does that leave us? In 1973, Francis Crick, the Nobel laureate who co-discovered the structure of DNA, co-authored a provocative paper with chemist Leslie Orgel. They proposed directed panspermia, the idea that life on Earth didn't originate here spontaneously but was deliberately sent by an advanced civilization from elsewhere in the galaxy. These scientists weren't fringe theorists, they were giants in molecular biology. They looked at how quickly life appeared after Earth cooled enough, just a few 100 million years, and at the universal genetic code, and wondered if it pointed to intentional seeding rather than pure chance. They even speculated that microorganisms could have been loaded onto spacecraft and aimed at promising planets. Supporting bits of evidence keep the idea alive in scientific speculation. The famous Murchison meteorite that fell in Australia in 1969 contained dozens of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, some of which are rare on Earth but match those used in life here. Organic chemistry isn't unique to our planet, it can form in space. And extremophiles like tardigrades have survived the vacuum, radiation, and extreme temperatures of space, proving that simple life can hitch rides across the cosmos on rocks or debris. Life might be more portable than we once thought. Ecologist Dr. Ellis Silver took these ideas further in his book Humans Are Not From Earth, compiling dozens of apparent mismatches: our vulnerability to sunlight, chronic back issues from upright posture that seems retrofitted, the obstetric challenges of large-headed babies, and even our strange genetic quirks. He suggested humans might have been brought here tens of thousands of years ago, perhaps as a hybrid or relocated population, and that Earth sometimes feels like a prison planet for a species with violent tendencies still working through its issues. But mainstream science pushes back hard, and its explanations are just as fascinating. Most of these problems fall under evolutionary mismatch or discordance theory. Our bodies are adapted for the hunter-gatherer lifestyle that defined 95% plus of human history, not the agricultural revolution, starting 10,000 years ago, or the industrial and digital explosions of the last few centuries. Back pain? Bipedalism evolved relatively recently, our spines are compromised still adjusting. Allergies and immune issues? Hyperclean environments remove the diverse microbes our systems evolved expecting, leading to overreactions. Mental health crises? Chronic stress from constant low-level threats mismatches the acute, resolvable dangers our ancestors faced. Obesity and metabolic disease? Hyperpalatable food in unlimited supply exploits ancient scarcity drives. The rapid rise of human intelligence and culture gets the same treatment. Other intelligent animals, dolphins, elephants, octopuses, crows, have been around for tens of millions of years without inventing agriculture, writing, or rockets. We went from stone tools to AI in a geological eye blink. Explanations include cooking, freeing energy for bigger brains, language enabling cumulative culture, social complexity driving cognitive arms races, and genetic changes like accelerated evolution in brain-related regions. We stack knowledge across generations in ways no other species does, creating feedback loops of innovation. Yet even after all the solid evolutionary explanations, a nagging sense remains. The speed of our rise, the depth of our existential unease, the way we reshape the planet while feeling alienated from it, these don't have tidy answers. Science admits gaps. Crick and Orgel were serious when they said the origin of life timing and certain biochemical oddities deserve open-minded scrutiny. Mismatch theory explains a lot but doesn't erase the feeling that something in our operating system feels imported. In the end, whether we're purely Earth-evolved products of a brilliant but imperfect process, or carry some deeper cosmic mismatch, the result is the same: we're the species that burns under its own sun, or artificial lights, stresses under its own success, and can't stop questioning its place. We build civilizations, medicines, and rockets not just to survive, but to reach beyond, to fix the mismatches, to understand the unease, perhaps even to find whatever home feels missing. If we are from here, then we're the strangest, most restless creation this planet ever produced, an animal that conquered Earth only to feel homesick in its own backyard. And if we're not entirely from here, or if life itself arrived with a little help from the stars, then that restlessness might be the oldest clue we have, a species still trying, after all this time, to remember where it really belongs. Like and subscribe if you enjoy these long, unflinching dives into the weirdest questions about human nature, evolution, and what it means to feel out of place on the only world we've ever known. Stay curious out there. Keep questioning the mismatches. And remember, sometimes the things that make us feel broken are exactly what drive us to build, dream, and look upward, wondering if the answer has been written in the stars all along.